Before we break down some Dolphins training camp news and notes, congratulations to Zach Taylor for being officially enshrined in the NFL Hall of Fame. Everyone show Zach Thomas some love by spamming 54, his number, in the comment section. Let's begin with some injury updates around the Miami Dolphins. They are off today at training camp, so good time to recap some of the recent news, notes, takeaways, etc. Good news to start. Cam Smith, who left Friday's practice, that is the Dolphins' second-round pick out of South Carolina, some type of leg, ankle, foot, lower body injury. He is okay. He came back to practice on Saturday, so nothing to be concerned about there. Meanwhile, the third-round pick, Achane, did not really do much Saturday, battling some type of injury. Mike McDaniel did not offer any details beyond saying he's not going to miss much time, no long-term concerns. So hopefully he's back and good to go in time for joint practices for the Miami Dolphins. The big takeaway from Saturday's scrimmage that was also delayed by weather, scrimmage maybe more in air quotes there, it's not really a real scrimmage. Anyway, the defense significantly outplayed the offense in that game. Not the best showing from Tua, although it wasn't really his fault. The defense just dominated, especially up front. The Dolphins' front five, or front seven, if you want to mix in Jerome Baker, David Long in there, is very good. And I think there are multiple players who have really impressed, shown flashes, looked like a key part of this defense moving forward. I have been very impressed by what we've seen so far with the Dolphins up front. I think that's going to be a key part of their looks moving forward. We'll go more in depth on one player in particular, but we do want you guys to vote. Which side of the ball do you trust more right now? O for offense, D for defense. Get those votes in. Where else but the comment section? All right, takeaway number 3. Christian Wilkins continues to cook. He is dominant. I think he just got the orange jersey finally. I think if you had to pick the best player so far in camp, most impressive, I think Wilkins would certainly be pretty high up on that list. He is making life very hard for the Dolphins offense. We'll talk about some of the interior offensive line here in just a little bit, but Wilkins is also in the final year of his deal. He's looking for a new contract, which I think he's absolutely worth. Here's what Wilkins said after practice when asked about it. Said, quote, "I definitely feel like I've done enough and done a lot to earn a new deal and a new contract. But again, I'm just focusing on ball and improving every day and just giving my all to this organization. And hopefully, they'll give their all back to me." So do you want to extend Christian Wilkins? I'll make note, if you pay him right now, the way you'll structure the deal will actually bring down his cap hit this year. And you can always roll over money into the future. There'll be some backloaded deals there. I think it's worth doing. I would do it in a heartbeat, but this is your show as well. Do you want to extend Christian Wilkins? It is today's pinned comment, so go vote. Y for yes, N for no, especially if the ad comes here on YouTube. Note number 4 and number 5 we'll spend a little bit more time on here. The offensive line issues remain the case, especially when Teron Armstead gets a veteran rest day. It's just not the same talent level. There was also this thing that I know triggered Will Scott. Bad snap again from Connor Williams over the head of Tua. I think that's the first one, or at least one of the few so far in Dolphins camp, but those can't happen. You cannot be entering year 2 as a center, publicly complaining about holding out even from minicamp about your contract and having bad snaps. That cannot continue. There are some spots I feel good about this Dolphins offensive line. I feel good about Teron Armstead when he's healthy. He's not always healthy. Connor Williams is still solid as a center as long as he just snaps it properly. Robert Hunt, I think, is a good right guard. Austin Jackson's been better. I think we'll get a better feel for him at Dolphins joint practices this upcoming week. It is the left guard spot that is the weak point on this offensive line. And I'll make this note. Dolphins reporters at camp are not allowed to say who's with the first team and second team. But I think it's stupid. It is dumb. It's just coaching paranoia at its worst. But there is very clearly a camp battle going on that will continue from now through the preseason. 3 names to monitor. Oh, we just happened to pick these 3, right? Liam Eichenberg, who was a disaster last year for Miami. I would hope is better, but is still getting pushed by Isaiah Wynn. He is now off of the PUP list and getting some run against Eichenberg. He was not his best stuff last year. It kind of fell into the Bill Belichick doghouse. Never a fun spot to be. Played mostly tackle for New England. Skill set-wise, traits-wise, does translate pretty well to guard. And then Robert Jones, who, look, we've put him at the right guard back because he's the fourth offensive guard there. He played a little bit last year as well. That battle is going to continue. So it's certainly worth keeping an eye out for. But this job is not just being given it to Liam Eichenberg. He's going to have to earn it, or maybe Isaiah Wynn, who offers some left tackle backup flexibility, or Robert Jones can emerge as he started. That is the weak point to monitor through the remainder of camp and the preseason. Now, football is back, and so is betting on football. Do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. When you head over to chatsports.com/bets and you use promo code Dolphins125, they will give you an extra 125% deposit bonus once you put down at least $100. That's some awesome bets there, folks. $100 down, 125 going back to you as well. So that's literally house money. You can't lose when you're playing with house money, and maybe you want to put $5, $10, $15, $20, whatever, on the Dolphins to win the AFC East this year. There are some decent odds, plus 300. Very clear gap after Miami going down to the Patriots there. Bills at plus 125, Jets at plus 250. If you want to bet on the Dolphins, do it with our sportsbook partner, BetUS. That's chatsports.com/bet. Promo code Dolphins125 for the 125% deposit bonus. Another camp takeaway, again, most of these coming in from the Saturday/Friday time frame when we weren't in the office technically. Noah Igbinoghene continues to flash. What you're always searching for in training camp is steady drumbeats. What I mean is, hey, 3, 4, 5 days in a row, 4 last 5, whatever. The reports are so-and-so looked good. That's kind of where we're at for Noah Igbinoghene, which is kind of surprising given the fact that he has been bad in his time in the NFL, but maybe the scheme change to Vic Fangio is helping to unlock him. Igbinoghene's numbers don't look that bad last year, but he also just straight up struggled to actually be on the football field. The team did not trust him at all. Head coach Mike McDaniel also offering some praise for the former first-round pick. He says, quote, "Don't underestimate the journey that is going from system to system in a defense. Specifically, you guys all know we played a ton of man coverage previously. Now we play a ton of really everything. That's been a steady drumbeat. I'll also make note that we mentioned Cam Smith earlier. He's fighting for that other corner spot with Jalen Ramsey banged up. Eli Apple was the veteran addition. Had a nice little INT to finish up practice on Saturday. I think he's adjusted to the team pretty quickly. That new defensive style he seems to have picked up pretty quickly. So the Dolphins have options at corner. It's going to be Xavier Howard. I assume it's going to be Caterco, whether that's inside or outside. And maybe in base it's outside, and nickel he's in the nickel in the slot there. Cam Smith, Eli Apple, Noah Igbinoghene as well, all fighting for that situation there. If and when Nick Needham ends up getting healthy, I'm not sure when he's going to be back. He'll compete, I would assume, probably more for a nickel corner role. But with Jalen Ramsey out until December, the Dolphins are still in an okay spot, or December-ish, I should say. Now, we are 452 subs away from 4,300. I want to get there. Maybe asking before the first preseason game is too much to ask, but we're going to be live, a watch party for you guys on Friday night for that first Dolphins preseason game. So make sure you are subscribed. Hit that sub button for more free Dolphins videos. Now, I think we might have a second video, whether that's today, tomorrow, whenever, or at least some breaking news here. I think you'll see the Dolphins add a defensive tackle in the coming days. They worked out 3 players yesterday. Marvin Wilson, the former FSU product. Deshaun Hand, a journeyman from Alabama, most notably with the Detroit Lions. And they worked out Roderick Perry II, who actually signed with Seattle this morning. There is an open roster spot specifically for the interior of the defensive line because Anthony Montalvo has been released by the organization. He was an undrafted free agent out of Central Florida. The Dolphins clearly unhappy with their depth along the defensive line. Vic Fangio was very blunt, bordering on scathing, had this to say recently, it was Friday, on the defensive line depth. Says, yeah, we're happy with Zach, Sealer, Christian, Wilkins, Raekwon Davis. We need to find two other guys to surface as the 4th, 5th, 6th defensive lineman, and so far, nobody has done that. It's an area that we need to get better at. Now, Emmanuel Ogbah is getting some inside-outside work, I'll make note. Brandon Peely's flashed a little bit as a nose guard. Jalen Twyman is undersized, but he's flashed a little bit as well. So this is very much something that the Dolphins are going to have to consider and look at and try to find more options. So I would not be surprised if at some point soon a new defensive lineman is added for the Miami Dolphins.